You're listening to G Woman Radio, the 24/7 radio for the gifted, genius, and game-changing woman.
Welcome to the G Spot, powered by G Woman Radio. The G Spot is a bold space for genius conversations with global game changers. Each episode of this live radio show brings together thought leaders, innovators, business owners, creators, and change makers for fearless conversations about leadership, legacy, innovation, and global impact. Now welcome your hosts, Alex Okoroji, Frankie Picasso, Swapna Abraham, Clara Rufai, and Mayuri Naidu.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the G Spot. Yes, my name is Alex Okoroji. I'm your host, and I'm very excited that we're here today on G Woman Radio. Thank you for joining us wherever you're listening from around the world. I'm just going to quickly jump onto my co-hosts and find out, how they're doing and what's going on.
Hello, Alex. This is Frankie from the studios in Toronto. Hello, everybody. It's a fabulous sunny day, no rain in sight. I am very excited. It's cooled down a little bit, and I am just raring to go. I cannot wait for everyone to meet our guest today.
Yes. Clara, what about you? How are you?
Oh, hi, I'm doing well. I'm joining you from our studios here in London. It's a warm day and perhaps a little too warm, but if you know anything about the British people, they'll complain about anything. It's either too cold or it's too warm. But I'm cool. I'm here and I'm excited.
That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to, I'm excited that we get to do this every week, every Friday. And I know that it's been a little, coming on today, but we're glad that we're here and we're excited. Every week we get a chance to speak with our very special game changer, who's also here in the studio already connecting with us. But I'd like to give a quick shout out to one of us, our co-host Mayuri, who obviously is on a tour right now with her new film, Lucky Fish, and I'm just excited about how that's coming together. Ladies, what do you think?
Oh, I'm so excited for her. She's fabulous in it.
Honestly,
Yes, she is.
just catch that movie, watch it when it does come to your area.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, you should. I was looking at some of the previews, and I think it's really going to be exciting. And it's nice that one of us is, just following her passion and doing work, truly just showing up in her giftedness. So, listeners, welcome to the G Spot. This is where genius meets the global game changer. And as I mentioned, I'm Alex Okoroji, and I'm joined by my powerhouse co-hosts who are also the co-founders of G Woman Media.
Thank you, Alex. Every week, we bring you bold conversations with the most amazing women who are shifting culture, challenging systems, and creating new legacies. Today's episode is all about the future is female, and we are thrilled to welcome a game changer who is blazing trails in her field.
But before we do that, you know what time it is, but I'm going to tell you anyways. It's that time when we recognize some amazing women globally who are doing great stuff. And so my first one up on the list today, right, is going to be someone that you're quite familiar with. Now, when we think of leadership that balances strength with empathy, there's one name that instantly comes to mind. She's shown the world that kindness is not weakness, but a powerful force in shaping nations and healing communities. Guess who I'm talking about? Let's shine the spotlight on Jacinda Ardern. She is known as the resilient leader, and she's the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, and she's a global advocate. Now, Jacinda Ardern, she made history as one of the most compassionate and decisive world leaders. She navigated the COVID-19 pandemic, the terrorism, and then climate policy with empathy and with quick action. So what makes her a G woman? Well, we think it's her focus on inclusive governance and leadership with kindness that sets a new standard in politics. And what's one thing she would say? She would say, it takes courage and strength to be empathetic. And I cannot argue with that. And so on now to the next person that we would like to celebrate today. Some women don't just make history, they rewrite it through science, through innovation, and through global impact. So, our next G woman who has turned the tide of a pandemic and continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in medicine is none other than Dr. Özlem Türeci. She's known as the vaccine innovator. Dr. Türeci, she played a pivotal role in developing the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. She changed the course of the pandemic with that innovation, and she continues to lead cutting-edge research in cancer immunotherapy. What makes her a G woman? Well, we think it's her revolutionary breakthroughs in biotechnology that's literally saving millions of lives. And what's one thing she would say? She would say, science succeeds when we all work together. Again, you cannot argue with that. Now, let me tell you very quickly, listeners, why this list matters. This list matters because it is more than just a recognition. And it's a list of 50 women, by the way. It is more than just a recognition. It's a statement of true feminine power because the 50 women that are listed on the global edition of G Woman magazine, they're not waiting for permission to lead or innovate or create change. They are taking charge and they're making things happen. So if you haven't read the latest G list from that edition, hurry on. After the show, head on to www.gwomanmag.com to read about the amazing, gifted, genius, and game-changing women featured on there. Alex?
Thank you so much for sharing that, Clara. Your list every week. I look forward to just hearing learning about the amazing women featured on there. So we'll take a quick commercial break and we'll come back for our game changer to meet the game changer. So don't go anywhere, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Are you a gifted, genius, and game-changing woman looking for your tribe? This is your moment. Introducing the G Woman Collective, a powerful new global hub where women who lead, build, create, and innovate come together to rise. Founded on the premise that women's collective voices hold boundless power. At the heart of our mission lies a powerful purpose: to ignite global visibility and momentum for women everywhere. Whether in boardrooms or broadcasting, the mission is simple: make women seen, heard, and unstoppable. Join thousands of women across continents in a vibrant digital epicenter that's redefining community, collaboration, and visibility. From private forums and global networking to live sessions, masterminds, mentorships, and exclusive media features, including access to our sub-collectives. This is not your average membership. This is your seat at the table. Become a G-Woman ally, G-Woman champion, or G-Woman vanguard, and step into a space designed to amplify your voice, fuel your mission, and elevate your legacy. Sign up now at gwomancollective.com and let's rise together. G-Woman Collective, where gifted, genius, and game-changing women belong.
Okay, we're back, and this is still the G Spot. And if you're listening to us obviously on G Woman Radio. And now I know you all are curious to meet the game changer, so let's get into it. Our guest today is Patty Famer. She is an award-winning marketing and media strategist, fractional CMO, a dynamic international speaker, podcast host, magazine publisher, and seven-figure event producer based in Dallas, Texas. Now, with her proven strategies, she helps entrepreneurs attract, engage, and convert their ideal clients with confidence and clarity. Now, whether on stage, behind the mic, or coaching one-on-one, Patty's energy and insights inspire action and drive success. Now, she specializes in working with service-based women entrepreneurs, small business owners, coaches, speakers, and content creators to define their target audience. Now, she also helps them communicate their value, craft compelling marketing and messaging strategies that attract, engage, and convert, and package their expertise into profitable products and services. Now, Patty's mission is to help her clients design the lifestyle they desire and help them build a business that supports it, not the other way around. ensuring that everything they do brings them joy and feeds their soul while maximizing results, relationships, and revenue. Well, we're so excited to have Patty with us here in the studio on the G Spot. Welcome, Patty. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you
Oh,
so
great.
much for having me.
Hi there. Patty, you grew up with five, I think five sisters or four, five sisters, I think. But I'm not sure where in the pack that you found yourself. And I know that you have a love for media. So, what was the spark that started your journey? Was it somewhere in your childhood or later on?
Actually, I'm the second from the oldest, and literally, I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh,
And one day, while going down the freeway, I wasn't driving, I saw this billboard, and it said it was for Snapple juice, if you've ever heard of that.
yep.
And because I lived in Las Vegas, so their tagline for it was because we all know in life you have to have juice. And when I read that, I thought to myself, oh, that's so good. I could do that. And from that moment on, I always knew that I was going to work in marketing and in some type of media because I loved it so much.
I love that story. I love it. Swapna, are you with us?
Patty, am I heard,
You
sisters?
are. You are, sis.
It looks like I had to brave more than the monsoon to get here on our lovely G Spot show this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the technology that somehow got me here. Patty, now this is my personalized barrier getting to today's G Spot. My question to you is, how did you how did you overcome like a huge barrier in your whole life, not in the last 5 minutes or half hour like I did, in your whole life? Like, was there a serious barrier that you had to overcome, Patty? And how did you overcome it, if I could ask you that?
I think the thing that I had to overcome was really learning how to use my voice. When I was growing up, because there were five of us girls, and I remember when I was younger, every time we got in the car, my mom used to say to me, Patty, we'll give you $5 if you could be quiet for 30 minutes. And I never once got the $5, not one time. And I kept thinking to myself, not one time. And I thought to myself, I want to talk. And when I grew up, I told myself, nobody
Mm.
is ever going to shush me again, ever. And the last job I ever had, we had to ask to go to the restroom. And I have a plaque over my desk that says, I will never ask to go to the restroom again. And I just told myself, nope, I have a voice and nobody is ever going to shush it again. But I want to use my voice to change the world.
Awesome. So it's your voice. It's your voice that you're talking about. Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Patty, for that. Clara, over to you.
Patty, I just was laughing listening to you talk about all the $5 that you missed. How could you? But anyway, I do have a question for you, and it's around myths. Right, Patty, you've helped so many entrepreneurs build businesses that are both profitable and joyful. But I imagine that there are still a lot of misconceptions out there about what marketing and media success really takes, right? So, so I'd like to ask you, what's one myth about your work or about growing a soul aligned revenue generating business, that you would like to bust wide open on today's show?
Oh, I would say that the thing that I would like to really bust open is that I think a lot of times people think that when they are in marketing, that they can't do it their way. Like there's this way they have to do
Mm,
it. But I
mm,
believe and teach that marketing that works is marketing that feels like you. I think
mm,
we're done with painful promotion. We want to be seen for the truth of our work. And I believe
mm.
right now the next wave of power is not about domination, it's about discernment, depth, and design. And I think we really need that in marketing and in our life and business all the time. But I think women now are not accepting anything less.
Amazing. Isn't that the
Yes.
truth, though? Isn't that the truth? And it's funny that you say we're done with painful promotion because that just reminds me of the fact that no one really likes to be sold to. So marketing has got to feel genuine, it's got to feel authentic in order to be able to be successful, in a sense. I do have a follow up question, though.
Okay.
Patty, and that's with regards to the next generation of women leaders. So, with all the wisdom you've gained from building your businesses, from like leading events, empowering entrepreneurs, and all of that, what is one piece of advice, if you had to, what is one piece of advice that you would give to the next generation of women, of leaders, women leaders who want to make a meaningful impact without burning out?
I love that question. And I would say that I learned early on to work in your brilliance and hire others to work in theirs. You will not get burned out if you're always working in joy and feeding your soul. And so I would say the first thing that they should do as soon as they can is hire a coach. Hire a coach and only work in the things that are your brilliance. Hire somebody else to do the other things. You'll never get burned out.
Amazing. Would delegation play a role there as well?
Absolutely.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for that answer. It sits right. I mean, it resonates totally. And that said, I'm going to hand over the microphone to Alex.
Well, thank you, Clara. And I was just enjoying listening to Patty talk about her personalized barrier. I think we all probably know someone in our family who would like to pay $5 to just keep quiet. But I think more than anything, I guess women are still struggling with really having a voice and owning their voice. And I think it's amazing, Patty, that you recognize that from when you were a child, that you just wanted to speak and you wanted to use your voice and you didn't need anyone's permission to do that. I think that is powerful, and not a lot of women even today know that their voice is power. So kudos to you there. My question really is around your G-spot moment. And we love to ask our guests here on the show what their G-spot moment is or was. And the G-spot moment typically is that game-changing moment, that aha moment, that moment when you realize that, I think I'm cut out for this. And I probably would reference that to maybe more recently in your career, because you've crafted a lane for yourself, right, in marketing and media. But there must have been a turning point at some moment when you realize that this is the lane that you should be walking and this is how you should be operating. So could you share your G-spot moment?
I can, and you're going to love it because it's really an interesting, kind of funny story. So so I worked in corporate, I was a corporate trainer, and I've always been an educator, but I didn't want to be a public speaker. That was something I didn't want to do. And because I thought that all public speakers wore what I like to call soap opera dresses, right? When you think about all the women on soap operas, they all have that same dress on, right? Different colors, but same thing. And I thought, I don't want to do that. So I didn't want to be a speaker. And then one time, a friend of mine asked me to come and do her a favor and come and speak. And I was like, no. So to keep the story short, she twisted my arm and I ended up going down and doing it. And what she didn't tell me was when I got there, she said, oh, by the way, Patty, you need to be funny. I'm like, I'm not funny. She's like, oh, no, there needs to be some humor. And then she said, oh, and we're videoing it. And I'm like, what? And she said, yes. And I know we told you 30 minutes, but we really need you to speak for an hour. Like first time speaking. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then she said, and Patty, at the end, if you would like to invite them to work with you, totally okay to do that. And so I literally was so upset. I went into the bathroom and was violently ill. And then it was time for me to be on. I came out and I can remember looking at everybody going, oh my gosh, I don't know how to be funny. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so what ended up happening is I saw people leaning in. I'm like, oh, I must not be doing too bad. Everything looks like it's okay. And then they held up this sign that had a 5 on it, which was like my cue that to wrap up and if I was going to invite anybody. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? And so what ended up happening, you should see this on video because it's pretty funny. I said, because I'm a speaker now and I travel all over the world speaking. This was 15 years ago. And I literally said, because I was so nervous, I said, well, I'm really busy. I actually said that. I'm really busy. But if some of you wanted to work with me, I could probably help 15 of you, but that's it, like 15 of you. But I do want you to know it's going to cost you. I actually said that out loud. And somebody in the back row said, well, how much is it going to cost me? And I told them, and the girl in the front said, well, what would we get for that? And because I was so nervous, I opened my mouth and I said, anything I would teach you would be worth that. And then I was so nervous. I said, if you want to talk about it, like I'm in the back. And by the time I got back to my seat, 37 people were standing in line with their credit card.
Whoa.
And I looked
Whoa.
at my phone, and my husband had sent me a message that said, how'd you do? And I said, I think I rocked it. And he said, what does that mean? I said, it means I'm going to be the best professional speaker I've ever can be. And so that was the start
Wow.
of
Good girl.
that was the start of my speaking business right then and there. And here I am 15 years later. And if anybody would have ever said to me that, Patty, 10 years from now, not only are you going to be a speaker all over the world, but that's what you're going to do for a living, is teach other people how to do it, I would never have believed them. But here I am.
Wow.
Incredible.
Such an amazing story, Patty, and truly, truly a game-changing moment, right? It's like you showed up. And I think that this is what happens. Many times we have certain experiences that call us to step up, right? And show up. And you took advantage of that opportunity, even though you were scared and you weren't sure how that was you weren't sure what you were going to say, right? But you just showed up in your giftedness, if there's any, in your genius, and look at where we are today. So what a game changing. And I think that, for our listeners who are listening, you might have your own on-stage opportunity, may not necessarily be a physical stage, but, just that opportunity to say yes, and show up and step out. And I think that is truly amazing. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and then we'll come back for our roundtable discussion. Don't go anywhere, everyone.
Ladies, listen up. There's a brand new power-packed issue shaking up the media world, and it's coming straight from G Woman magazine. It's the Global Issue 2025 edition, and it's not just pages, it's purpose. We're talking game changers from the top 50 gifted, genius, and game-changing women to watch, to rising voices, deep conversations, and powerhouse features like our cover story, Dr. Harbeen Aurora Rai, founder of the G100, Women Economic Forum, and All Ladies League. You'll find bold interviews, visionary features, and stories that prove one thing. When women lead, the world changes. So, whether you're a leader, a creator, a founder, or just getting started, this issue is for you. Tap in now at gwomanmag.com. That's gwomanmag.com, G Woman Magazine, where visibility meets power and every voice matters.
Okay, we're back. Yes, this is still the G Spot. You're listening to us live on G Women Radio. And yes, we were talking to our very special guest, Patty Farmer, and she's been telling us her story. She's a marketing genius, media marketing, publisher, speaker, name it. She's the triple G, right? She's the genius that you definitely want to have in your corner. So it's time for our roundtable, our G Talk roundtable, and over to you, Frankie.
Thank you, Alex. Well, our theme today is what global equality looks like and how women are designing it. But Patty, before I get there, I just wanted to say I was thinking about how great is it that now you make big money to speak instead of $5 to shush up.
I know, isn't that like amazing?
Yeah, who would have thought that? I love that. I know that you have a love for coffee, and you are also a big believer in contribution. Let's talk about the coffee business that you want to create, where you have designed it so that you receive 0% of the profits. Now, what kind of model is this? And is this what global equality might be the start of?
Well, I've always felt that God gives us gifts and he doesn't give them to us to sit in our living room, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've always thought about what are all the things that I could do to give back. So I love coffee. You're right. I even consider myself a connoisseur of coffee, but I order all my coffee from all over the world. I order coffee from Ethiopia, Colombia, and all of these places. And I thought, what could I do that could really change and have an impact globally while still doing something that I love? And so I decided to open up this coffee company that's going to be called Powerhouse Coffee. And basically, what I am going to do is I have white labeled coffee from all over the world. And what I'm going to do is 100%, not a portion of, 100% of the money from the coffee is going to go back to those countries where we bought the coffee, where we ordered the coffee. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 100% of the money to go back. And I have created an entrepreneur program so that the women in those countries that don't have some of the opportunities that some of us have where we live, that it is an opportunity for them to learn entrepreneurship at no cost.
That's fabulous. That is fabulous. I love that. Social impact is really important to me. I wanted to know though, when you work with women, do you advise women to incorporate the idea of social giving or good into the start of their business? Or is this something that comes later, do you think?
Well, I think that they can do things at a smaller level in the beginning. It could be something as simple as maybe you're even doing like an event and there's 20 people. Like it could be really, really small. When I first started doing things, I was a single mom at that time. And I loved this one cause that we had in our town, and it was about single parent advocacy. And so I would let people come to all my events, and instead of paying for the ticket, if they brought school supplies or if they bought, socks or underwear, whatever the case may be, they could do some type of social impact there. And it didn't cost them very much. I mean, you go to the store, buying another pair of socks or another package of socks doesn't cost very much, but it really does help. And then as you become more successful and are able to, I think that if it is part of who you are, I also believe that people love cause marketing so much that if there is some way that you're helping someone else, I think people will join more, they'll spend more, and they'll help more. And you'll have so much more credibility when it isn't just about you, because we all know that it's never just about us. It's always about who can we help.
100%. And I did make an error. I misspoke before we started this. It is about heart-centered leadership. And that's exactly what you exemplified, Patty. You're just incredible. Any of you sisters want to come in and talk about what heart-centered means to you? Or
Yes, I do. I do. I
okay.
do want to say to Patty that I love what you've been saying. I mean, I love it so much because, I mean, especially how your business model to me flips the script on traditional profit driven entrepreneurship. It reminds us that when women lead with purpose and with, social empowerment or community in mind, we're not just creating products, we're actually creating systems of impact. So that's what came to mind listening to you speak. So, as someone who believes deeply in contributing socially, I think that models like yours are exactly what the future needs, because they're like, it's business, but it's a tool for equity, empowerment, and shared abundance. And it just reminds me of what we're doing with G Woman Media, just now. So, can you tell us, or can you share with us a little bit about how you've been able to like scale this model over the years, if indeed it is scalable?
Oh, absolutely. I think that a lot of times people want to help, they just don't know how. So when you have someone that, or a bunch of someones, right, get together and you have an idea, sometimes people don't know how to do it themselves. They don't know how to get started. They don't have the bandwidth or the capacity. And so what I have found is every time I have shared something that I want to do, hands just raised. Oh, Patty, I'm in that. I'll totally support you in that. Oh, yes, I'll bring this. I'll bring that. Whenever I share now about my coffee company and how I want to do it and how I am going to do the entrepreneur program, I have yet to have someone that I have told that hasn't said, oh, Patty, I have some videos. Oh, I have some training that I would love to donate. Like they can't figure out how to do the whole thing, but a whole bunch of little bits add up to a whole lot that we can do. Somebody just has to start it and have the vision, because I really believe that the future isn't really about taking the mic. It's really about changing the frequency, right? So if we change the frequency, I think it will bring in other people, and then we can do so much more in the world when we all band together.
That's right. Change the frequency, everyone.
Yeah, change it
I
and
love it.
collaborate.
Love it.
I do have something to ask, Patty. The super theme of this episode is the future is female. Do you believe in that as such, Patty? And I'd really like to hear your worldview about the future is female.
Oh, so you may not know this about me, but I have 6 daughters. So I have 6 daughters,
Wow.
and
It is female.
I come from a family of 5 girls. So I so believe it. So this is what I believe. I believe that heart-centered leadership isn't leadership with less power. It's really leadership with a deeper integrity, right? Because
Yeah.
I think heart-centered leadership, it's not soft, it's sovereign. And it's actually rooted in self-trust, empathy, and a commitment to lead with clarity, not control. And so I think what happens is we lead with values, not valuations, right? Because we're not
I
leading
like
with
that.
our egos, we're leading with ecosystems. And so I think the future is female because we're not waiting to be chosen, we're choosing ourselves, and then we're turning around and holding the door open for someone else.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much for that, Patty.
Egos,
Wow.
ecosystems. Yeah. She got a great way with words. That's why she's in media, marketing.
Totally.
Sound
I
bites.
like those one-liners. They're
Yeah.
awesome. Your one-liners are brilliant, actually. Yeah.
6 daughters, 5 sisters. It is female led for sure.
Lovely.
Great.
But Patty, do you think in the world that we are in, women need to try a lot harder, do we, towards gender equity?
I think it's a story we're telling ourselves, but I don't believe it. That's just me.
I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that.
I just think it's a
Lovely.
story that we are
Mm,
telling ourselves because I don't think it's about us taking power. It's about us remaking it.
right.
And when we do, I don't think the
Wow.
future's not going to just look different. It's going to feel different too. And I think that
Right.
the future isn't female because we need more noise. I think it's female because we need more nourishment. And so sometimes we don't believe that. Sometimes we think we're not enough or we're too much. But I think that genius in a woman, it's like she's not too much. She's exactly what we need right now.
Yes.
I have a
Hallelujah.
question just
Bravo.
on the back of that.
Wow.
I have a question
Wow.
that I'm dying to ask you, Patty. And it may just be a yes or no answer, but do you think, first of all, do you believe that when we say the future is female, is that the same thing as saying the future is female led? And my second question is the world really and truly ready for a future that's female led?
Oh, I love this question. So I do believe it is female led. And I think that women are ready and the world is ready because I believe that there are women out there that have been praying for it for a very, very long time. And they are ready. They're just waiting for people to step up, because not everybody is a leader, right? Or they don't think they are, right? They don't want to lead the charge. But that's okay because even though there are leaders, and clearly we all on this call are, but a leader without any followers is just one person, right? So we really need to set the stage for that and make it easy for them to say, oh, I agree with that. I'm going to step up too. I'm going to step up too. And they'll lean in, they'll raise their hand. And all of a sudden, what was 10 will now be 10,000, right? So I do believe it is female led. And I believe that the world has been waiting for it. And it's now here. And I am more excited about that than I've ever been about anything for my children and my grandchildren.
Amen. I'll
Ditto.
say amen to that
Ditto.
one.
Yes. Amen.
Lovely.
I do too.
If I may, I was just gonna piggyback on something that Patty said about just her believing that the future is female led, and how we women are leaders. I think I personally think that leadership starts from the home, right? And I feel like as women, many of us, and there are women probably listening to this who may not have followers per se, in terms of that they are actually taking leadership positions, maybe in their workplace or in their businesses, but maybe at home. Maybe it is staring the children. Maybe, I mean, the children are followers, right? The children are, you become the example. You set the stage for the values that you want them to have, right? And sometimes it's not that and when I say children, you may not necessarily be a natural birth parent. But in every home where there's a woman, whether they're sisters or brothers or family members or loved ones, and you live in a communal space with someone else other than yourself, in that position, the self-leader, even maybe leadership even starts with self, maybe self-leadership. So I think the beauty of the conversation that we're having about the future being female-led is a unique sense of the heart-centeredness that we bring to leadership, I believe. And not just the tough sort of masculine energy, and not to say that there isn't a place for that, but there's already been too much of that. Look at the outcome. Look at, the world. Look at all the wars and the egos and I don't know why, we have all the violence that we have, because some people just, there's a certain heart-centeredness that we bring. I think that women are willing to not come out with their guns, first of all, as a response to conflict, right? We're certainly not thinking so again, I guess that's something that I feel that the world is probably ready for. And what you do, Patty, in terms of even just your approach to marketing, right, is also there's a heart-centeredness approach, right, which is kind of different from the sort of traditional style of marketing, where marketing has to be had and go, 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 go. And it's about transaction, and it's transactional as opposed to being relational. So just wanted to add to that a lot of the things that you said. And I know I agree with you, because I have I think we're 5 sisters. I have 4 older sisters. So there's a lot of us females in the family. So I'm with you on that. A lot of that.
And I'd love to add to that what you just said too, because I love what you just said, because I really want people to realize that I think a lot of times when people think about women that are leaders, they do think of someone who has a little bit more masculine energy, or might be strong, ambitious, whatever that is. But I believe that in this decade we're in, it's all about embodied authority. And I believe that soft power is the new sharp edge, really, because it's not about being fearless. You don't have to do that. It's just about being fluent in your own genius. So soft power is a sharp edge too. It doesn't have to be the loudest voice, right?
Yep.
I think there's really something to be said for the quiet, soft power as well. So I think people don't have to think that to be a leader, that they do need to be this strong, bold, outgoing, what I think sometimes they think that is. I don't think that is us anymore. As women, we can do it our way, whatever that way is.
I agree with that. And I think all you have to do as a leader is look at look at animals around you. How do you lead an animal? You don't have to do it loudly. You don't have to yell at them. It's an energy. It's an energy-led, leadership, I think. Especially with herd animals like horses. They get afraid from loud noises. You don't have to be loud. You just have to show this energy that I'm leading you. And,
I agree with that.
They follow you.
I also think, like right now, when we're talking about female-led, I think the future is female-led, not because we need another trending hashtag, right? Not because we need that, but because the world is just finally ready for leadership that has heart, depth, and truth.
They're so ready.
Let me, what? I just thought about this. I did, how many years ago? I did help some in my state, in my home country. And there was, I think it was during the political season, it was, and there was a candidate who was running to be the governor of the state. And a lot of us who typically would not talk politics, for example, were so excited and honored to just back him up. And one of the things that stood out was a phrase where we said, he has the heart of a mother. And I think that
Ooh.
that was the experience that a lot of people, he has the heart of a mother. Although he was a leader, he was a man, there was just the heart centeredness that he brought to his leadership. And, so when we talk about, the future being female led, it's not necessarily that, it's just, yes, women taking ownership, taking space and all of that. And it's not a hashtag, like you said, but there's something to the heart of just that soft touch, like you said, that soft power, that heart centeredness, that care and concern for the people that you lead, that place where it's about the people and not about power, that place that's about people and not position, about relationship and about care and all of that in everything we do. I mean, we can do business with a lot of heart, right? So I think that there's a place, there's that shift, and I'm just excited for the world to embrace more of that. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, sisters, and then we'll be back for our spotlight. Okay, don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Are you looking for a unique gift for baby showers, bedtime songs, fun time songs, and songs that teach lessons? Family road trip songs the whole family will enjoy. Songs that will trigger young imaginations, nurture and educate your children, but adults will enjoy too? Then choose a Children's Song a Day book. This extraordinary book experience contains 1,000 songs in 5 volumes that will delight children age 4 through 12, along with eye-popping illustrations and lyrics. Each song can be downloaded via a QR code on each page in 2 versions, one with full song, the other for a karaoke experience. Lyrics, melody, and singing are the creation and talent by Dr. Swapna Abraham, who embarked on a 1,000-day journey setting 4 world records in singing songwriting by the Golden Book of World Records. Each song is crafted for children to inspire dreams and explore life's wonders. They're available now on any Amazon near you, so get yours now and start singing.
It makes me want to frown down the head.
Okay, we're back, and this is still the G Spot. And yes, we're here for our G Spotlight segment. Over to you, Swapner.
Thank you, Alex. Patty, it's time for our G Spotlight moment. I'd like to know what would be a bold insight that you'd like to share with us, the audience here today.
A bold.
Yay! I just have to say, we've been talking future is female, future is female. There's another universe that says the future is AI, and you being the marketing genius that you are, I'm just wondering if now finally AI has leveled males and females as humanity. Uh, that's another topic, perhaps, but from your marketing mind or even life at large, what would be a bold insight that you'd like to share with us if someone would just ask you a legacy drop from Patty?
Ooh, a legacy job. I would say a bold insight is for us to just remember that we're not changing who's in the boardroom. We're changing what the boardroom even looks like. So we don't need to think about the parameters that we have been told before. We're like pioneers in a way. We get to design them ourselves. And I think that is something for us really to remember, that heart-centered leadership, it's not leadership with less power, it's leadership with deeper integrity. And I think that's what's important.
Thank you, Patty. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Over to you, Clara.
And I'd like to quickly remind our audience, if you're live with us, you're listening to us, you'd like to jump in, interact, we'd love to hear from you. If you've got a question, a thought, or you just want to join in the conversation, drop it in. We're here for it. If you go on the website from where you're listening, obviously, you'll see the pink Join the Chat Live button. Just click on it, follow the screen prompts, and drop in a question. And we'll try to take it whilst we're here. And with that said, Patty, I do have one question, one or two actually, it depends how much time we have. We don't have that much time, but I do have a question that I'd love to ask you from a member of the audience. So you often say that business should support the lifestyle you want, right? Not the other way around. So for women entrepreneurs who may feel stuck in the hustle, what's that first bold step that they need to take to shift from burnout to building with joy and with purpose?
I think the first thing that they need to think about is what is the life that they desire? Because a lot of times, if you have a business, could just be a job too. But if you have a business, you get so caught up in that and you're working harder than you did when you had a job, right? And I think that the most important thing is to think about what does that look like? That's why every single person I work with, we start there first, right? And really, here's what I want to say. So think about it. As women, think about when we were growing up. If daddy couldn't make it to gymnastics or soccer for the kids, people would say, oh, daddy has to work. But if mommy didn't make it, she felt guilty. She's like, oh, maybe I should go get a job, right? You know, maybe I really shouldn't have this business, right? And I say, forget that. Like, I feel like if a woman wants to have a business, then she should have a business. And that's why for me, I will always do whatever I can to help a woman if she wants to, no matter what. So that's where the lifestyle for me is really important, because I think, and I'm in marketing, but I think the old school marketing is like, oh, everybody wants a jet, wants to take 10 vacations a year and make $1 million. And that is just not true, right? Sometimes somebody's lifestyle that they want is just to be home every day at 3 o'clock when their kids come home from school, or not to work weekends, or to let their kids be able to take gymnastics. So I really feel like it should always start with what is the life that you want to have. And then we can help you to build that business that supports that lifestyle.
100%.
I love that. I love that. That truly resonates. I love that. And I've got a second question for you very quickly. So you've built a powerful brand, right? By helping other people find clarity in their message and confidence in their value. But in your experience, what's the biggest internal block that may be holding entrepreneurs back from truly owning their worth? And how can they break through it?
I love that, because that's usually about a mindset. It's like they need to have a mindset shift. And here's what I would say, and this might be kind of a little different, but I think for as long as I have been in business, I hear women specifically say, I want to be in the room with like-minded women. And I'm going to say that's the first shift, because for me, that's the last thing I want. I want to be in a room with diverse-minded women who are going to help me to shift or give me another perspective or a different point of view.
Wow.
Because when you are in the room, I want to be in a room with heart-centered women, but diverse-minded. And I think that's the room we need to be in.
Yeah. Yep.
Totally get it. Totally get it. So over to you, Alex.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I remember when we had a call, and that was something you said that definitely resonated for me, because we really keep going that we want to be in the rooms with, like you said, like-minded women, but just opening ourselves to being around people who don't think like us, who don't see things the way we see them, who don't have the same experiences, obviously expands our mind, right? It expands who we become and the things that we learn. So that is something that you said that, and that stood out for me, because that totally changed, because in internally, what we really want is people who are heart-minded, right? So thank you for sharing that. And we're going to take a quick musical break, and we'll come back, before we take our drop mic moment. This is RSVP by Danielle Taylor.
What are you waiting for? What kind of invitation do you need? If I invited you, how would you RSVP? I might be there, but I can't be sure. Don't know what's outside my front door. Oh yes, I'm coming. You can count me in. I'll bring the party. 'Cause you can dance all night, dance if you want. I'm doing your own thing, not a care in the world. Dance all night, dance if you want. I'm making your own rules. You got nothing to prove. Who are you waiting for? Who do you hope is gonna set you free?
that was RSVP by Daniel Taylor. And now I played that song again because I remember we never got a chance to really fully experience it with
I
our,
love
you
the
know, one of
lyrics,
our old
Alex.
guests here on one of our old guests here. But you know, it just lead. We're hoping that all the female leaders can RSVP and take space and take ownership of this opportunity,
Yeah.
right? To you know, step into their own. So we're gonna quickly take our mic drops. I know we don't have we have about 7 minutes before we wrap this up. But yes, mic drop moments. Frankie, what's your mic drop moment from our conversation with Patty?
Work in your brilliance and hire those that can work in theirs. I love that. It's like the
Woohoo.
4-hour work week.
I love it. Oh my God. I should be taking notes. I love that. Love that. Swapner?
Oh my goodness, I've had a masterclass listening to Patty speak. I've learned today, most of all, besides everything else, to lead with clarity, not control.
That's a good
Love that. Yes. Clara?
I'm going to cheat. Can I cheat? I have more than one mic
Cheat.
drop moment.
Okay. I will let you.
So, my first mic drop moment was when Patty talked about leading with values, not valuations. The second mic drop moment was when she talked about women not waiting to be chosen, but instead women choosing themselves. And the final one is when she talked about soft power being the new sharp edge. Ooh.
Yes.
Wow, I loved all of that.
Wow.
Did you know you said all
What
those
a good
great things?
cheat. She gave us one for gifted genius game changing. Well, for me, that's what she did. You know, for me, it was when she talked about not being in the room with like-minded women, you know, people, but really being in the room with heart-centered people, and that for me just resonated.
And
But
also,
yes,
not
over to you,
choosing
Patty.
who's
You want my
Sorry,
mic drop
what you were gonna
moment?
say?
No.
No. We were gonna say that we were gonna say no. Swapna was saying something, and I.
Thank you, Alex. I wanted to say, not changing who's in the room, but changing the room.
I like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was a good
So,
one.
Patty, you can tell that we were taking notes, right? Because you definitely dropped a lot of jewels
Dropping a
here,
lot of gems.
and I,
What I think is
we were
interesting is you
we-
can tell we're all in media because we all know how to speak in sound bites.
well, you know, it's been. Let me tell you what. We wish the show was longer than an hour, that it was 2 hours, so we could spend more time learning more things and taking more notes. You know, for on behalf of the listeners. But just before we wrap this up, I know we have just 3 minutes to go before we close. We want to ask you, where can the listeners find you? I know that you offer so much to amazing clients, and where can they find you? Any final words before, you know, we wrap this up?
So you can find me at pattyfarmer.com. So it's nice and easy. Everything's there. My books, the magazine, the podcast, everything. And my final words, I think if I was going to wrap it up, would be, as a woman and as a leader, for you to remember that we are shaping the narrative, not just performance. I think so many times we focus on performance, but we're really shaping the narrative. And that is a beautiful thing.
I love you, Patty. You know, that part
Yeah.
just,
Wow. Wow.
that just,
It just sparked 10 other questions.
that hit the right spot for me. that just hit the right spot for me. Shaping narratives and not just performance. And as somebody who, well, thank you for that. Let me not add to that. Let me not take away from that. I think people should leave with that. So to our listeners, thank you so much for listening to our show today with the amazing Patty Farmer. Don't forget to follow us online at G-Women Media and tag us in your thoughts with hashtag G-Spot Radio. And of course, if there's anything that you heard, even if you're listening to the playback, you can catch the replay wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, if you've got comments, questions, anything you want to just share about what our guest just shared on the show, you can do that as well. And don't forget to tag her too. So until next time, don't forget to stay genius, stay
Game changing.
Changing.
stay game changing, sisters.
Yeah.
You're tuned into G Woman Radio for the global woman, gifted, genius, game changer,